I used to think intimacy would happen naturally when I met the right person. I thought if two people were truly compatible, things would simply open. We would naturally want to be close, naturally understand each other, naturally feel safe enough to share the deepest parts of ourselves. But later, I realized something different. Intimacy is not only a feeling that appears when the right person arrives. It is also a capacity, and that capacity has to be learned, built, practiced, sometimes through honesty, sometimes through awkwardness, sometimes through fear, and sometimes through the painful realization that we want love deeply, but do not know how to let it come close. Some people crave love so much, but when real love begins to move toward them, they do not know how to receive it. They want to be seen, but they are terrified of being seen too clearly. They want someone to stay, but when that person comes too close, they feel trapped. They want deep connection, but keep every conversation at a safe distance where no one can touch the most vulnerable part of them. Most conversations in daily life stay on the level of information. What did you do today? Who did you meet? What did you eat? How was work? Where are you going this weekend? There is nothing wrong with these questions. They help us stay connected, but they do not always create intimacy. Real intimacy begins when we stop talking only about what happened and begin speaking about what happened inside us. Not only, I came home late today, but I came home, sat down, and suddenly wanted to cry without knowing why. Not only, I have been busy lately, but I think I keep myself busy because if I stop, I am afraid I will have to feel the emptiness inside me. The distance between those two kinds of sentences may look small, but emotionally, it is very wide. It is the distance between surface communication and real connection. I once had a close friend. We met often. We talked a lot. We ate together. We knew many details about each other's lives. But one day, this friend looked at me and asked, "How are you really doing?" Out of habit, I said, "I am fine." But they did not move on. They looked at me a little longer and asked again, "No, I mean really, how are you?" I stayed quiet for a long time, not because I had nothing to say, but because there was too much that had never been said. And when I finally began to speak honestly, I realized something. It was the first time in months that I heard myself tell the truth. Not because no one was beside me, but because I had never allowed anyone to come close enough. That may be the hardest thing to admit. Sometimes the reason we cannot find deep connection is not only because other people are unavailable. Sometimes it is because we have not learned how to open. We are afraid of being judged, afraid of being seen as weak, afraid that if we speak honestly, the other person will not respond in the way we need, and the wound will hurt even more than silence. So we stay safe. We say enough, smile enough, share enough. We are present, but never fully reachable. And then we wonder why we still feel alone. The harder part is that many of us bring old automatic reactions into our relationships. When someone comes close, we push them away because closeness once meant pain. When someone pulls away, we panic because being left alone once felt unbearable. We want the person to stay, but feel suffocated when they actually stay. We crave love, but distrust it when it appears. These reactions are not proof that we are bad at love. they are often traces of older experiences that the body still remembers, even when the mind no longer remembers the whole story. I used to be someone who kept distance. Whenever someone began to come closer than I was used to, I would create space without even realizing it. I became busier. I replied more slowly. I shared less. Sometimes, I simply withdrew. It was not because I did not want connection. I wanted it very much. But I was also afraid. I just did not know what I was afraid of yet. Another thing that often keeps us away from intimacy is shame. When we carry too much judgment toward ourselves, we become afraid to let anyone see the real version of us. Because if they see it and they do not accept it, it may feel like proof of our deepest fear, that the real us is not lovable. So we wear a mask, a softer version, a stronger version, a less needy version, a less complicated version, a version that seems easier to love. But the problem is, if we only let people love the mask, the part of us that truly needs love stays lonely. Intimacy does not require perfection. It requires truth. Not all at once, not with everyone, not by exposing every wound to anyone who enters our life, but slowly, with people who are safe enough, we learn to show up with a little more honesty. Two people sitting together, not defending, not performing, not trying to prove they are fine. Just two real human beings seeing each other. And maybe that begins with learning how to see ourselves first. Not with judgment, not with the need to fix everything immediately, but with curiosity. What am I afraid of when this person comes close? What do I want but do not dare to say? What wound am I protecting with this coldness? Am I truly independent, or am I afraid of needing someone? No one can truly connect with someone who is always wearing a mask. And we cannot be loved in the way we deeply need if we never let the other person see who we really are. Maybe deep love does not begin when we finally find the perfect person who understands us. Maybe it begins when we become brave enough to be seen. Not only the strongest version, not only the beautiful version, not only the easy version, but the real person, the one who knows how to love, but is still afraid, the one who wants closeness, but is still learning how to trust, the one who deeply wants to be loved, but is slowly learning not to hide from themselves when love finally comes near.